Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. After our adventures last week we'll find out what it was last week. I play so many games that I can never remember everything. Right, in Shadows of Kilfirth last week, we are back to the ever-familiar world of the Cthulhu Mythos, as we are playing Call of Cthulhu, Alone Against the Static by 𝐓𝐢𝐦𝐞𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐦𝐩𝐬. These Alone adventures are more of a choose-your-own-adventure style setup than what we've been doing with Call of Cthulhu. And given that I'm still a little bit under the weather, I don't really want to do too much thinking today, as Jester's stopping by. His grandson's here, hoping to do a gaming video with the grandson today. Well, hopefully you have fun with that, Jester, and maybe we won't depress him too much with this adventure. So, yeah, probably want to send the grandson away for this one. Anyway, let's jump right in and see what we've got here. So we do have our two characters. Last time we did Call of Cthulhu Alone Against the Static, we played it as the woman in this marriage. This time we're playing as Alex, and here's his character sheet. You can pause that if you want to take a look at it on the front side. We'll take a quick look-see at the back. And once again, you can pause that as well and take a look at that. So, let's jump in to the action here. So we did roll the 3d6 for luck. Helps if I turn on the big light. There we go. Taking a nap right now, so only you around. All good. Somewhere in the forgotten wilds, where pine needles carpet the forest, something stirs. Wind whips around the Black Hills to places where bears, rabbits, and birds never visit. The trees of the surrounding forest shiver. Beneath the moist earth, something wakes. Shifting from beneath the soil, it erupts in silence from the ground. Its emergence reverberates throughout the wild. Far off, a wolf howls in mourning for what will soon pass. It pulls itself from the darkness and breathes. It blinks. Take your chosen investigator's sheet, which we did. Roll 3d6, multiply the result by 5 to determine their luck score, and write the result down. To begin your adventure as Alex, go to 1. As Charlie, go to 2. Which I did that just off camera for the luck. So now I've got 4 dials over here that I'm going to keep track of. The 60 is for my sanity. The 13 is Alex's hit points on the Marvel Champions boss dial. 12 on the island dial is for his magic points. And 35 is for his luck, because our luck roll was pretty trash. But we'll do the best we can with that. I've also got my log sheet offshot that I'll be keeping track of everything on. These are a bunch of keywords that we might be finding throughout the adventure. So, let's go to number 1. Damn it, Charlie growls, struggling to fold an impractically large map over your car's steering wheel and avoid veering off-road into a tree at the same time. Can you just let me hold the map, you ask? No, I can do this just fine, Charlie says, then slams on the brakes to round another tight bend. It is late afternoon on a rural back road deep within the Black Hills of South Dakota. The sun is high, but the air is cold. You've seen nothing but pine trees and 2 narrow winding lanes for over an hour. Your car's radio is getting weaker. It splutters out a Neil Diamond song laced with static. Check or tick Alex on the log sheet. So there you can see I've marked off Alex on the log sheet. And now we've got a choice to make. To keep offering help, go to 7. To change the radio station instead, go to 3. I'm going to see about changing the radio station to get away from the static. You reach forward and turn the dial. The speakers vomit static while you scan for a signal. Please, Charlie barks and turns the radio off. I can't think with all that noise. You raise your hands defensively. Sorry, you say, but Charlie ignores you. You stare at them for a few seconds, then sigh and turn to stare out the window. You watch the muddy green blur of passing trees for several minutes. Finally, Charlie says, they jab a finger down at the still tangled map. It's the next left. You peer ahead and spot a tiny unpaved road cutting deeper into the forest. Charlie pulls onto it, and the two of you weave through the trees in silence. Make a psychology roll to gauge how Charlie's feeling. If you succeed the roll, go to 4. If you fail, go to 8. The way Call of Cthulhu works is it's all based on percentile dice rolls. You want to be under your skill value in order to pass the roll. In this case, Alex's psychology is a 60. So we want to be at or under 60, and we can spend luck to manipulate the roll if we need to. Which we do not need to because that's a 53, so we pass. Which means we go to 4. Charlie seems agitated. It's been over 3 hours in the car, so that's understandable. You reach over, put a hand on their leg and squeeze. You see them smile just a little in response. Not far now, Charlie says. Good. I can't wait to stretch my legs. You continue deeper into the forest. The little road you're on winds erratically, dipping up and down as it dodges between hills. The sky gets lost in the branches of pine trees. As the evening shadows lengthen, you feel cold seeping in from outside. Go to 5. After a few minutes, a few more turns, and a few miles traveled deeper into the forest, the sun sets. Your car's headlights cut into the darkness, revealing the road ahead just a few feet at a time. Eventually, the lights drift over the front of a cabin, reflecting off 2 windows on either side of a front door, which seem to stare back at you ominously. The car stops and the headlights shut off. Finally, you sigh, and step out onto the gravel driveway. As you walk around the trunk to help with the suitcases, the cold night air seizes around you like a vice. Are you hungry? Charlie asks, while you try to keep from shivering. Make a constitution roll. If you fail, check or tick touched by cold on the log sheet. Constitution is 70. That's a 94, and I don't want to spend... I could spend 24 luck, but that would mean I'd be taking a large chunk of my luck out in very early. Jester, if you can convince me that that's a good idea, I'll do it. Otherwise, I am very inclined to fail this test. So I'm going to go ahead and mark off touched by cold. Yeah, you can try to convince me if you want to, but my inclination is 24 luck. Spending that much luck this early is, yeah, that's kind of what I was figuring. Don't waste your luck. All right, so I did tick off. So on the log sheet again, I did tick off touched by cold. You can see there's a bunch of keywords that we might be encountering. So now we have to decide are we hungry or aren't we? I know after 3 hours in the car, odds are I would be hungry. So let's go with that. You nod. Sure. Hamburgers? Hamburgers it is. You take a brown grocery bag from the car's trunk, grab your suitcase, and walk to the cabin door. Charlie opens it up and steps inside. You follow, closing the door behind you to keep the chill out. Go to 11. The cabin isn't very big. It's just one central room with a double bed, a chest of drawers, and a corner set up to serve as a kitchen. There's no microwave. Both the oven and the stove use gas. You see two doors. One goes to the rear of the cabin while another leads to a small bathroom. You just know it's going to be freezing in there. On the wall opposite the bed is a TV and VCR unit sitting on top of a cupboard. The whole cabin is lit by muted yellow bulbs. It's not dark, but it's not quite light either. I'll be in the John, Charlie says, then steps inside the small bathroom and shuts the door. You are left alone. You put your suitcase on the bed, take out a few essentials, then move to the kitchen and unpack your groceries. There's a gas fridge and an icebox that, judging by the steady and not at all soft hum emanating from it, was installed sometime in the 1970s. To get started on dinner, go to 13. To wait for Charlie, go to 16. Remember, this is an adventure set in the 1990s, beyond signal range, which can't be anything good, and I'm going to go ahead and get started on dinner. You unpack ingredients for hamburgers. You find matches in a drawer, hold a lit one to the stove's gas burner, and turn the dial. Nothing happens. Damn thing. You ignore the front left burner and use the front right instead. It lights up super quick. You've got patties frying and are chopping tomatoes when you hear the toilet flush. Charlie emerges from the bathroom soon after, sighing contentedly. Woof. Sorry. I've been holding on to that one since we left Pierre. How charming, you mutter. Charlie comes up behind you and wraps their arms around your waist. You feel their breath on their neck, then the brush of a kiss against your cheek. I love you, Charlie whispers. To respond lovingly, go to 14. To change the subject, 17. Let's respond lovingly. I love you too. You turn your head to Charlie and kiss back. Now scoot. I need to finish dinner. You busy yourself in the kitchen while Charlie flops onto the bed. I'm so glad we're here. Me too. I think it'll be really good for us, you know? Yeah. Like Dr. O'Brien told us, Charlie says, staring at the cabin's warped reflection in the mirror black TV screen. Getting away from everything just to focus on us will be great. I think it could be really healing. To talk about plans for tomorrow, go to 18. To reassure Charlie, go to 15. Let's reassure Charlie. Yeah, you say. It'll be great. Yeah, you say with a faint smile. It'll be great. I know it. A few minutes pass, then you serve up the burgers. You and Charlie sit and eat silently. You find the cabin's nearby window strange. Outside it's so dark that all you can see is your own reflection. It's like looking into a mirror. What do you want to do tonight, you ask, mouth half full. Charlie raises an eyebrow. You roll your eyes. Seriously. Well, you want to go on a hike tomorrow, right? You nod. How about we just fire up a movie and take it easy? Charlie gestures at the TV. To agree, go to 19. To complain, go to 25. A movie and taking it easy sounds good before we go on a hike tomorrow. Sure, you say. Charlie grins, then takes the dishes and heads over to the sink to clean them. You walk over to the TV unit. It's a relatively cheap model from the late 1980s, sitting on top of a dusty VCR player. You switch both on and open a cabinet beneath them, wondering what videos Charlie's brother and his wife left behind. He sure likes scary movies, you say, looking at the titles. 15 different tapes, and you're sure that covers pretty much every major slasher film of the last decade. God, none of these look good. There's not even a single comedy? Charlie asks from the kitchen. Make a spot hidden roll. If you succeed, go to 26. Fail to 20. His spot hidden is a 65. That's a 92. Once again, we're not spending the... Let's see, we need a 65. That's a 92. So we would need 27 luck to pass that. Once again, I'm just going to fail that. So fail to 20. You take out the tapes and go through them one by one, rolling your eyes and performatively gagging at each cover as you go. Charlie walks over and joins you. Maybe we should have stopped by a Blockbuster on the way. You're telling me. These covers all look cheap. Think they're bootlegged? Probably, Charlie shrugs. I could have sworn he said there was more than just horror. He said they watched something that sounded like a chick flick last time they came up. Maybe it's still in the VCR? Charlie leans over and presses the eject button on the machine. There is a whirring of mechanical internals, and then the unit spits out a tape. Aha, Charlie says. Is it blank, you ask? Nothing written on it, but they're bootlegs, right? You shrug. Whatever. Rewind it and we'll take our chances. It can't be worse than any of these. To watch the movie right away, go to 28. To get ready for bed, go to 21. I'm going to take a quick drink before we continue, plus it'll give me a second to think about what choice I want to make next. Also bring my drink a little bit closer. Let's see, so do we want to watch the movie right away or get ready for bed first? I think we're going to... Let's get ready for bed first. So that's over to 21. You grab your bag with one hand and head for the bathroom. I'll be right back, you say, and slip inside. It's even colder in the bathroom. You set the bag on the sink and blink at your reflection staring back at you from a nearby mirror. The door creaks open just a little. You sigh and push it closed again, but it doesn't take. You look closer and see a little latch at head height. The door obviously can't hold itself shut unless it's locked. You roll your eyes, ignore the door, and brush your teeth. A few minutes later, you return to the main room and change while Charlie waits patiently on the bed. The movie is all set up, paused at the beginning. You climb up onto the bed and settle in as well. Ready for the random, hopefully not horror film? Charlie asks. Sure am. Start it up. You smile and slip under the blankets. Charlie presses play on the remote. Check or tick occupied on the log sheet. Go to 22. Occupied, and that sends us to 22. When the film begins, the screen is black. There is faint music, but no opening credits. Then, the screen cuts to blurry footage that was clearly recorded on a handheld camera. Is this one of Mark's home movies, you ask? Charlie laughs, then reaches for the remote. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. Wait a second. That looks familiar, you say, pointing at the TV. Charlie hesitates. On screen, you see a wall of tall forest trees. Leaves and pine needles crunch under the feet of whoever's filming. The camera pans across the landscape, creating a blur of greens and browns. Suddenly, you spot Mark's cabin, standing alone in its little clearing. A dull red sedan is parked out front. That's Julie's car, Charlie says. This must have been after their wedding. The camera is shaky. Wind rushes against the microphone, causing a brief flurry of horrid scraping from the speakers. There's movement near the red car. A woman, Julie, is taking bags from the trunk. She's smiling. Yeah, Charlie says. This is at least 5-6 years ago. Julie turns as the cabin door opens. Mark steps out, walks over, and takes one of the bags from her. They smile and exchange unheard words. You sit bolt upright. What the hell? What's wrong? It's only Mark. Yeah, so who's filming? Charlie stammers and blinks. On the screen, Mark and Julie go inside and close the door behind them. The camera zooms in toward the window. The picture is a grainy blur of colors. You see movement in the cabin. The camera zooms even closer. Then, harsh wind picks up and howls through the speakers. The image smashes to a slurry of loud static. White noise booms out into the room. The sound drills into your skull. You feel like your head's going to explode. Make a note of this entry. You may need to return to it. 22. Okay. Next, we need to make a sanity roll. If we fail, lose a sanity and tick unsettled on the log sheet. Our sanity is a 60, and if I remember correctly, I don't think we can spend luck rolls. I don't think we can spend luck on sanity rolls. I know we can't spend luck on luck rolls. I'm just going to double check that, but I'm about 85% sure that I can't spend luck on sanity rolls. There's something in here that explains skill tests. That's probably what I'm looking for. I know there's an index in here because I've seen it. Here we go. 89, 125, 154. Okay, so we can't spend luck on sanity rolls. That's what I thought. So our sanity is a 60. That's a 13, so that's just out of range of an extreme success, but a hard success is good enough here. So we can either cover our ears to 29 or scramble for the dial and turn it down, go to 23. I'm going to try to turn it down. 23. You dart from the bed, grimacing at the ear-splitting noise. You switch the dial and kill the TV. Charlie is sitting on the bed with their hands clamped over their ears like a dope. Sorry, it's only a remote for the VCR. There's no volume control. What the hell was that? You ask angrily as you step away and slump back onto the bed. I don't know, Charlie shrugs. Mark and Julie came out here with someone else? Charlie laughs. I don't really want to think about what my brother and his wife get up to when they're out here. You roll your eyes. That was creepy. It was like a peeping Tom. Well, we know it's not. Charlie gestures to the TV cabinet. Why would Mark and Julie have the tape? If Broken Heart is checked on the log sheet, you can't stay calm, you have to go to 24. To get frustrated with Charlie, go to 24. To stay calm, go to 30. We're going to stay calm. So go to 30. You shake your head and take a deep breath. You're right. It's stupid. Let's just forget about whatever the hell that was. You still want to watch a movie, Charlie asks? Sure. Whatever is fine. One of those schlocky flicks, you say. Charlie gets up. My pick? Your pick. Charlie smiles and looks over the tapes in the closet. Ooh, this is a good one. You lean forward at a tape that has a guy wearing a pumpkin on his head as the cover. I think even you'll like it, babe. Somehow, I doubt it, you smile. No, seriously, Charlie says, and slips the tape from the case. It's about this guy who's a writer, and he drives up to this secluded town in Maine, right? Charlie hits eject on the VCR. And anyway, the TV set blares to life. It bellows static through the cabin. Thunderous scraping and coughing bounces off the walls. You thrash and cover your ears. Charlie swears, but you can hardly hear it. The noise builds to a frenetic peak. It's almost unbearable. Then, just as quick as it began, the noise stops and the TV falls silent. All the lights in the cabin go dead. The power's out. Go to 31. Charlie, you ask the darkness? Yeah? What was that? Power's out, I think. You hear scrambling in the darkness as Charlie shuffles along the floor, one hand touching the wall. They flick the light switch several times. I thought this place was on solar power. Well, I guess solar power still runs out. Is there a backup or anything? I don't know. I guess. I'll have to head into town and call Mark in the morning. Oh, that's just great. You pull your legs up to your chest. Okay, whatever. You're not used to this level of dark. The city doesn't get dark like this. You raise your hand in front of your face. You can't even see its outline. You feel anxiety rising in your chest. If either Broken Heart or Blame Game is checked or ticked on the log sheet, you can't lean on Charlie for support. You have to go to 33. To lean on Charlie for support, go to 32. To give up and go to sleep, go to 33. At this point, we're just going to go to sleep. This cabin sucks. You shift around on the lumpy bed and try to get comfortable. Charlie joins you before long. The bed frame creaks when they settle onto it. Babe, Charlie says. What? Are you going to sleep? What else am I supposed to do? The power is out and we're in the middle of the woods. Okay, sorry. Charlie rolls over. At least you think they do. It's hard to tell in the dark. After a few minutes, they speak again. Must be just an old shoddy TV. I think Mark has had it since the 80s. I don't care. Can we just make sure the power is back tomorrow? Yeah, I'll do everything I can. Fine. Good night, then, you say. Good night. Charlie doesn't stay awake long. You hear their breathing slow quickly and fade into the gentle rumble of sleep. For you, sleep comes much later. The creaking of pines, the howl of cold wind, and another strange and unidentifiable sounds echo through the black hills around you. The anxiety in your chest burns as you lie silently in the dark. It's a relief when you finally fall asleep. Check or tick nyctophobe on the log sheet. Go to 34. I'll grab another cough drop before we continue. All right, 34. When you wake in the morning, you are alone. You stir in the bed and sit up. Babe? There's no answer. The only sound is the wind outside, carrying with it a gentle morning birdsong. You get up and cross to the kitchen. There's a note taped to the clunky refrigerator, which is written in familiar handwriting. Sorry again. Just want this weekend to be special. Gone to town to get help fixing power. Back ASAP. Love you. You set the note down. Looks like you have a few hours to yourself. To eat some breakfast, go to 35. To go for a brisk walk, go to 37. Let's have some breakfast. Let's get some breakfast in the system. You scrounge up some bacon and eggs. The spit and splutter of cooking fat fills the kitchen. The leaden quiet out here is unsettling. More than once you make to turn the radio on before remembering that it won't work with the power out. You poke at your eggs idly with a spatula and slowly run your eyes across the room. They land on the dormant television set. Your heartbeat quickens. You frown. It's embarrassing how much that stupid videotape affected you. You roll your eyes and turn off the gas. You eat your hearty breakfast in silence. Once you're done and have washed the dishes, you realize you got nothing else to do, so you decide to go for a walk. To leave right away, go to 36. To wait a few minutes in case your partner returns, go to 41. Let's leave right away. Outside, the air is fresh, the sun is warm, and the sky is mostly clear. You fill your lungs with the scent of moist soil and pine trees. You take a few steps forward and peer down the driveway. It weaves away into the woods. The trees are so thick here that you probably have a better chance listening out for cars than looking for them. You turn and head down a walking trail just by the cabin. The earth has been worn smooth by the hiking shoes of innumerable visiting families. To slowly get excited about this vacation, go to 39. To get even more anxious, go to 40. We're slowly getting excited about this, so 39. The nature surrounding you eats away at the stress layered into your being. You feel yourself truly smile for the first time in weeks. It happens without any effort on your part. It feels good. You close your eyes and turn your face to the sky. The fresh air and sunlight kiss your skin. It's glorious. Off to the left, you hear running water. You open your eyes and look towards the source of the sound. It's coming from just off the trail you've been walking along. To investigate the sound, go to 44. To stick to the trail, go to 49. Let's investigate the sound. So 44. You step off the trail and stride toward the forest towards the sound of running water. Through the forest towards the sound of running water. The ground is uneven, so you steady yourself on the trunks of nearby pines as you go. You walk around for a little while until the sound of the water gets louder. You crest a small ridge and discover a bubbling stream just on the other side. The water is rushing downhill fast, headed south. It's clear and fresh. The trickling sound is melodic. If the flowers in the stream is ticked on the log sheet, this place reminds you of something, you must go to 48. It is not. To take a drink from the stream, go to 45. To sit for a moment and enjoy the serenity, go to 50. We're just going to sit for a moment and enjoy the serenity. You carefully walk down the riverbank. Loose leaves and pine needles wash downstream in a tiny rendition of whitewater rafting. Steadying yourself against a tree, you sit down on the riverbank, lean back, and close your eyes. A breeze brushes across on your face and hair. You admire the way the sunlight paints the inside of your eyelids and red and yellow. Make a listen roll. Succeed to 46, fail to 51. His listen is a 60. That's a 66. That would only take, this time it would only take 6 luck to pass this one. Jester, I'd be a little warmer to spending 6 luck on this. What do you think? Granted, this one isn't life or death necessarily, but it is not nearly as big a chunk of our luck as the earlier chances we had to spend luck. Alright, we are spending 6 luck then. So that'll bring us down to 29 luck, making that roll a 60, so we will pass. Over to 46. Beyond the stream, between the trees, you hear twigs snapping. You stiffen, then stand up tall. Suddenly, which I just did. Well, hopefully we'll catch you later. Suddenly a deer emerges from the tree line. It steps slowly toward the stream, then spots you, freezes, and stares. The water running between you and the deer is the only thing that moves. You are both completely still, watching each other. You notice one of the deer's eyes is swollen with pus and blood. Make a natural world roll. If you succeed to 47, fail to 53. His natural world is a 40. That's a 57. I'm not going to spend 17 luck, but there is an option to push the roll, which we're going to do. If you fail to wish to push the roll, you may roll a second time at the risk of stepping onto the unstable riverbank. If you succeed the pushed roll, go to 47. If you fail the pushed roll, go to 54. So we're essentially just making the roll a second time. And making an even bigger mess of it. So now we go to 54. You trudge toward the deer to try and get a better look at its eye. As soon as you move, the deer groans, turns, and runs into the forest. Wait, you call out. You step after the creature, but your foot slips on some mossy rocks by the stream bed, and you tumble sideways. Your head slams hard into the earth. Everything starts spinning. You lie dazed for a few moments before you can act. When the dizziness finally fades, you sit up groggily and feel the back of your head. You wince. It's sore to the touch. You can feel a small patch of wet blood. You haul yourself to your feet, cursing the deer. Then, you head back toward the trail and continue your walk, gritting your teeth against the pain as you do. Great. What a fantastic start to the morning. Make a note of this entry, of this entry number. You may need to return to it. Take a d4 damage. Go to 55. Up. Alright, that is my... Oh, I did need the pencil for a second, so we're on entry 54 now. And now a d4 damage. Ouch! 4 damage, that's not good. So that brings us down to 9. And go to 55. You hit the trail and push forward, heading farther down the Black Hills and deeper into the forest. It's a pleasant hike. Sunlight filters through pine branches and casts up dancing shadows all about you in the cool morning air. After half an hour or so, you feel nature calling and step behind a tree to pee. You are fumbling with your clothes when you spot something. Ahead, off the trail, nestled in a narrow valley, is a dilapidated wooden shed. To investigate the shed, go to 56. To ignore the shed, go to 79. Let's ignore the shed this time. Forget that. You've seen enough horror movies to steer well clear of little abandoned sheds found in the middle of the woods. You continue your hike for about half an hour, then turn and head back home. Go to 84. You crest the rise that leads back to the cabin. The sun is high in the sky. It's late morning, soon to be afternoon. You sigh. There's no sign of the car, and therefore you're probably still without power or your partner for now. You head inside. Everything is well lit by the late morning glow. You change out of your walking clothes and leave them on the bed, then head into the bathroom to shower. If occupied is checked or ticked on the log sheet, you remember a minor detail. You must go to 86. Occupied is checked. So 86. You close the door behind you and turn on the shower faucet. Water cascades into the waiting tub below, filling the room with a constant loud drizzle that is almost reminiscent of white noise. The pressure is lousy without power to the pump, but gravity does most of the work. Thank God the water heater is gas-powered. You pause, remembering that the bathroom door doesn't keep itself shut. You push it closed harder and put the latch on to secure it in place. You step into the shower and wash the morning hike away. To stay for a while and enjoy the soak, go to 90. To shower quickly, go to 92. Let's enjoy the soak. The water is warm, cleansing, and healing. You love the feeling of it running over your skin. You swear the water even smells different to water back in the city. You stay in the shower until you're completely relaxed, ready to face the afternoon with a smile. Heal 1 hit point and restore 1d4 luck points. So heal 1 hit point, bringing us back up to 10. And we restore d4 luck points. We restore 4 luck points, so we're back up to 33, near to where we started. There we go. And now we go to 92. You get out of the shower and dry off. You step back into the cabin and decide to get dressed. To put on jeans and a t-shirt, check or tick practical on the log sheet. Or to put on warm, soft track pants and a sweater, check or tick comfortable on the log sheet. Either option, then back to 93, then over to 93. We are going to put on jeans and a t-shirt for practical. Now we go to 93. Freshly dressed, you feel renewed. Now, what to do with the afternoon while you wait for your partner to return? Hopefully they have a solution to the power problem. To make some food, go to 94. To search for flashlights and batteries so you have light for when it gets dark, go to 95. To try to restore the power yourself, go to 368. Let's try to restore the power ourselves, so 368. You slip your shoes on and step out of the cabin. You trudge through the foliage that skirts the cabin walls as you make your way around the building, looking for the generator. You find it on the back of the cabin, a big metallic box that was once painted beige, but now faded and chipped. It looks a bit like a cabinet, with a pair of doors at knee height. You stoop down and open the doors. Funny, you expected them not to open so easily. Inside are what look like 2 tall and thin car batteries, connected with wires to one of those boxes with a needle that jumps up and down measuring whatever it was designed to measure. The needle is currently at 0. Make a hard mechanical roll. If you succeed, go to 369. If you fail, to 371. His mechanical repair is a 10, but we're actually rolling for a 5 because we're looking at a hard roll. That's a 56. We're not even going to pretend that we're going to be spending the... Well, actually, that would take more luck than we have. So, fail to 371. You reach in to check the wires running from the big batteries to the little box. One comes loose in your hand. You're unsure if it was already unplugged or if you somehow unplugged it when you checked to see if it was secure. You grab the box to try to turn it around to see if there are buttons or anything on the back. There aren't. Just wires and spider webs. You push the box back in place and brush your hands on your shirt. You check a different wire on the battery. You feel a tingle and jerk your hand away. Was that a shock? No. The wire is wrapped in rubber. You're just jittery. Ugh, forget it, you groan, and slam the doors shut up to 370. With a sigh, you head back inside and slip off your shoes. You close the door behind you. It's nice, in a way, to feel so removed from the world, but still safe and secure in this little room, like a pocket of the modern day planted in the wilderness. You just wish you could watch TV. To make some food, go to 94. To search for flashlights and batteries so you have light for when it gets dark, go to 95. We're going to go look for flashlights and batteries. So 95. You know there was a heavy-duty flashlight in the car, but it's gone now. What do you have here in the cabin? Right now, when the sun goes down, you'll be left in the dark. Make a spot hidden roll. To succeed, if you succeed, go to 97. If you fail, to 98. His spot hidden is a 65. That's a 92, so there is an option here to push the roll. If you fail to wish to push the roll, you may roll a second time at the risk of an unfortunate accident. If you succeed the pushed roll, go to 97. If you fail the pushed roll, go to 99. That's an 82, so we still fail the pushed roll. At least we did better this time. Go to 99. In the cupboard beneath the sink, you find a little plastic container with a mini flashlight on it. You switch it on. It works, but the beam is weak. The batteries are probably dead. You look for spares in the pantry, the bathroom, and in the bedside tables, to no avail. Still, you refuse to give up. You check the pantry a second time. You look more thoroughly under the sink. You double-check the bedside tables. Still nothing. You curse, frustrated, and lean against the mattress to think for a moment. A brilliant idea hits you. You stoop down and look under the bed. In the half-darkness beneath the bed, you spy a cardboard box covered in dust. You reach for it and slide yourself farther under the bed. You can see the box is pressed right up against the bottom of the frame. Someone has really jammed it under here. You slide yourself even farther still, squinting in the dark. You grab the box and try to shimmy it free. You realize too late that the bed frame is broken, and that someone had jammed the box under it for support. As you pull the heavy box from its spot, a broken slat comes loose, its jagged wooden edge driving down at you. Check or tick running on empty on the log sheet. This is not good. Make a dodge roll. If you succeed, go to 109. If you fail, to 100. His dodge is a 30. That's a 40. I think we're going to sit on the luck. That's only 10 luck, but still, that's a little less than a third of my luck, and I don't want to spend that much right now. So we are going to fail to 100. You're too slow. The jagged shard of wood collapses under the weight of the mattress and stabs you in the side. You pull yourself free, but carve a jagged scrape across the skin of your flank. Make a note of this entry, you may need to return to it. Take 1d4 damage, go to 101. Alright, so we need to take another d4 of damage. As Troy Sawyer seems to be enjoying this adventure. Glad you're having fun with this one, Troy. That's another 3 damage, so that's going to bring us down to 7 on the health dial. I don't know how long you've been around, but let me explain what each of the dials are for that I'm tracking. This is my hit points dial, which you can see just went down to 7 since we got hit pretty hard. This is my sanity dial. My current max is 60. Magic points, which are used for spells and such, at 12. And my luck is 33, which I can use to mitigate a dice roll. So if I need to spend luck to make a skill roll pass, that's the way I can do that. Let's see, where were we? Oh yes, 101. That jagged slat hurt bad, no kidding. Wincing and biting your lip, you drag yourself from under the bed. Hell, you curse. And stand up, your hand pressed to the wound in your side. That's barely a curse. You go into the bathroom and clean away the blood. After treating it with some antiseptic, warm water, and a fresh bandage you find in the medicine cabinet, it looks remarkably better. In pain, but otherwise okay, you return to the cabin. Make a first aid roll. If you succeed, restore 1 hit point. His first aid is a 70. Which is not a surprise because he's a nurse. That's a 42, so we restore another hit point, going back up to 8. If well fed is checked or ticked, it is not. So we're going to cook some food over at 94. Now that we've managed to thoroughly hurt ourselves, now we're going to actually cook some food. You head to the kitchenette. You're glad the fridge and stove are powered by gas. You cook up a meal, then enjoy it alone at the little dining table. Check or tick well fed on the log sheet. If survivalist is checked or ticked on the log sheet, your stomach growls, you must go to 102. Survivalist is not checked. To eat and enjoy the food, go to 106. To pick at the plate unenthusiastically and worry about your situation, go to 107. Let's enjoy the food. Delicious, truly. You are a Michelin level chef. Anyway, actually, wait a minute. Something... Wait. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Alright. If fully checked, charged, or running on empty are checked and ticked on the log sheet, you're bored, you must go to 108. Running on empty is checked, so we have to go to 108. You can't think of anything else to do in the cabin, and restlessness is creeping in. For a while, you lie on the sofa and read an old beat-up paperback from a shelf in the corner. You think it's pretty good, but a little flowery and overwritten, not to mention how grating prose written in the second person can be. Make a listen roll. If you succeed, to 110. If you fail, to 113. His listen is a 60. We have not had good luck with pushed rolls today. That's a 16. Fortunately, we won't be making a pushed roll because we will succeed and go to 110. You hear footsteps outside. They crunch on the gravel driveway. You sit up. You didn't hear a car approach. You stand up nervously and creep across to the window. A balding, middle-aged man is standing just outside the front door. He's dressed in a thick winter coat and has his hands in his pockets. You don't recognize him. He lifts his hand to the cabin door and knocks. To pretend nobody's home and wait for the stranger to leave, go to 140. To answer the cabin door, go to 121. Honestly, that's how a lot of these bad stories start, so we're going to go to 140. You wait a few moments, then you hear him step away from the door. You move to the window and look out. You see him leaving. He doesn't head down the driveway. He takes the trail that leads into the forest. the same trail you went walking on earlier. To follow the stranger, go to 138. To follow the door and make sure it's locked, go to 120. Let's follow the stranger. You step out of the cabin and watch as the stranger strides down the forest trail. You follow him, crunching along the same stones you trod on earlier this morning. You can't help but feel like what you're doing is dangerous. To go back to the cabin and lock the doors, go to 120. To pursue him deeper into the forest, go to 141. Let's go deeper. You hurry after the stranger. You follow behind him through the woods. You're not far away, but he doesn't seem to pay attention to you. You can creep after the stranger or decide to follow him openly. To creep after him, make a stealth roll. If comfortable is checked or ticked on the log sheet, make this roll with a bonus die. If you succeed, go to 144. If you fail, go to 146. First of all, let's look at his stealth being a 30. That's not a good stealth roll. So I think we're just going to openly follow him. You follow the stranger openly. You know he must hear you, but he doesn't stop to look your way. This guy had a head start, and he's a fast walker. You just hurry to keep up. Suddenly, without warning, the stranger turns. He locks eyes with you. All is silent. Go to 152. You both hover where you are, frozen and in the stillness of the woods. The stranger's flat, empty eyes betray no emotion. To back down and return to the cabin, go to 163. To hold your ground, go to 153. I think at this point we're going to return to the cabin. You decide to quit while you're ahead. You hurry back. You hear no sound of pursuit behind you. Before long, you're back inside the cabin where it's safe. Go to 142. It's dark, clouds cover the sky, and the moon is hidden. You lay on top of the bed for a while, listening to the wind shaking the branches of the pines all around. Every few minutes, you think you hear your partner arriving back. Every time, you're wrong. When you walk around the cabin, you use your flashlight to guide your way. After a few hours, you make yourself a sandwich and eat it in the dark. While you chew, there is a knock at the door. It is a single knock. Suffocating silence follows it. To ignore the knock, go to 183. To answer, go to 176. This time we're going to answer the door. Probably a bad idea, but here we go. You set the sandwich aside and swallow. You walk to the door, the flashlight guiding your way. Hello, you ask? You open the door. Darkness. The flashlight spreads a cone of dim light out into the night. The wind and the cold wash over you. Make a note of this entry number. You may need to return to it. Make a sanity roll. If you fail, lose 1 sanity. So our current sanity is a 60, and we can't spend luck. That's a 24, so we're fine there. Alright. If Lumberjack is checked or ticked, on the log sheet you spot an item you found, you have to go to 177. To dismiss the noise as an accident of the wind, go to 181. A moment longer, go to 178. It's probably just probably just the wind. You close the door. You didn't realize how cold it was until the slight warmth of the cabin returns. You go back to the kitchen and sit dejectedly before what is left of your sandwich. Later, you follow the flashlight back to the bed and get under the covers, rubbing your arms and legs to stay warm. Upon the cabinet at the foot of the bed, the television turns back on. The power's back. To start turning on lights, go to 184. To inspect the television, to 185. Let's turn on lights. You reach across the bedside lamp and flick the switch. Nothing. You get out of bed and use the flashlight to find the light switch on the wall. Still nothing. You cross the cabin and step into the bathroom. You flick the switch. Nothing again. Nothing. Just the TV, tuned to the VCR, displaying slightly illuminated black. To inspect the TV, go to 186. It's quiet. The VCR is purring. The TV is dim. Depending on your choices, you may return to this entry several times. Select an option you have not already chosen. If the quiet in the evening is checked or ticked on the log sheet, which it is not, or if the couple who came to the cabin is checked, it is also not. So to play the tape from last night, go to 208. To leave the TV alone, go to 223. Let's leave the TV alone at this point. 223. You turn away from the television set and cross over to the bed. You sit down and try to avoid looking at it. You can hear it humming ever so softly. To head to sleep, go to 255. To step out onto the porch and to look one last time for your partner, go to 224. Let's look one last time. You follow your flashlight beam to the cabin door and open it. It's dark and cold outside. The wind drifts past the clearing in front of the cabin, down the driveway to the road hidden by the forest. You shine the flashlight left, then right. There's no sign of your partner. You are obviously being optimistic. If there were any cars out here, you'd hear them a mile out. To make a listen roll, succeed to 225, fail to 228. His listen is a 60. That's a 51, so we pass. 225. You hear rapidly approaching footsteps. They're getting closer fast. You spin about and raise your flashlight. It falls on the shadow of a man running in your direction from the tree line. Your eyes widen as you make him out. Middle-aged, large jacket, face set into a determined snarl. He is sprinting for you with murder in his eyes. To yell at him to stop, go to 233. To dart inside and close the door, go to 226. Somebody coming at me with murder in my eyes, my first thought is to put something between them, so we're going to try to close the door. Your feet skid on the wooden decking as you dive for the door. The sprinting figure is right behind you. Can you make it in time? Make a dex roll. If you succeed, go to 227. If you fail, to 230. His dex is a 60. All right, that is cocked, so we're going to roll that again. That's a 54, so we pass. John Parsons probably meant to say it's just the wind. All right, 227. You lunge back into the cabin and slam the door shut, hastily locking it. Good plan. A half second later, you hear the stranger slam his full weight against the cabin door. The collision is loud. The door shudders beneath him as he begins to beat his fists hard against it. The door begins to shake. He's trying to break in. Oh, that's fun. To try to secure the door, 237. Find something to defend yourself with, 241. Try and hide, 239. Let's try to find something to defend ourselves with, so 241. You search around for something, anything, to defend yourself with. If in case of emergency is checked, it is not. Razor sharp also is not. Close to hand, nope. So we're looking for the closest thing. There's got to be something here you can use. Your eyes snap between unpacked vegetables, abandoned videotapes, and neatly folded linen. Make a spot hidden roll. If you succeed, to 247. If you fail, to 251. Spot hidden, once again, is a 65. That's a 16, so we definitely pass that. 247. Instincts takes over. You sprint to the kitchen, open the drawers inside, feel around for the silverware. Your fingers close around a steak knife. It'll have to do. You step outside, you step out of the kitchen and make your stand just by the front door. You grip your steak knife tightly in one hand. After just a few seconds, the door bursts open and the stranger steps inside. He charges right at you. Check or tick last resort on the log sheet. go to 259. The stranger is bigger than you. He's crazed, wild, and violent. He thrashes with empty hand at the air around him as he crosses the room in large, rapid strides, closing the distance. To try and get out of the way, go to 262. To attack him as he approaches, go to 260. I think we are going to try to get out of the way. You weave sideways and try to slip out of the stranger's reach. If you succeed, 263. If you fail, to 272. Alright, so dodge is a... Oh boy, dodge is a 30. This is problematic. That's a 79, so we do fail that roll. Go to 272. You try to duck out of the way, but one of the stranger's thick, meaty fists catches you in the jaw. You feel your teeth loosen, and something at the back of your jaw crack. You tumble sideways. The stranger bellows in celebration. You steady yourself and see him approaching you again, fists flailing. You realize with a start that during the scuffle, the two of you swapped positions. You are now between him and the door. There's no way you're staying. You spin around and sprint away from the cabin, out into the woods. The stranger's howls of fury go fainter as you vanish into the night. Make a note of this entry number. You may need to return to it. Take a D4 damage. Go to 298. So we're on 272. Excuse me. 1 point of damage. Okay, that's not the worst thing that could have happened. So we're down to 7 HP. And 298. Here we are. You dash out into the night, running as far and fast as your body can manage. The cold air burns your lungs. The surrounding trees sound alien as they rustle, making you all the more terrified. Every few minutes, you emerge from the trees to a section of dirt road. You keep praying that you'll see your partner's car arriving, but deep in your soul, you know it won't come. After almost an hour of mad flight, you come to a crossroads. You recognize it from your journey up to the cabin. You're not sure which direction leads to the highway, and which leads deeper into the woods. The forest feels inescapable. Make a navigate roll. If you succeed to 299, if you fail to 320. His navigate is a 20. That's a 17, though, so we do pass. Which is 299. You pick one pathway and follow it. Even after hurrying on for what feels like ages, you can't tell if you made the right call. The flashlight you carry is the only way you can see your surroundings. The only thing you can tell is that the forest is quieter here. Eventually, you start to tire. You're also getting seriously cold. You lean against a tree and catch your breath. If well-rested or is checked or ticked on the log sheet, your previous rest bolsters your strength. You must go to 300. Well-rested is not. So go to 301. You try to catch your breath, but it doesn't seem to work. Your hand slides down to the base of the tree, and you collapse down against its roots. You suck air over and over. Your lungs feel icy. Despite the horrible situation you find yourself in, your eyelids feel heavy. You're not sure how long you wait, but it is some time until you feel as though you can get back to your feet. You stand slowly, teeter, but manage to forge on. Right now, you just need to put distance between yourself and the chaos you escaped from. When the sun rises, you'll be able to reassess and begin to find your way back to civilization. Make a note of this entry. You may need to return to it. Take 1 point of damage, and we'll be on to 302. So we're down to 6 HP and 302. Pine needles and dirt crunch under your feet as you walk. You make progress, but with every step you feel yourself growing wearier. You need to find somewhere to rest. Maybe some high ground would be good? Or should you look for a grotto? Anywhere sheltered would be best, right? Just as you spot a cluster of trees where it looks like you'll be able to rest and stay dry, you hear a faint hiss from behind you. What was it? Static? Was the sound static? Adrenaline surges through your system. To investigate the sound, go to 303. To run like hell, go to 308. We're going to investigate. You turn to face the direction the sound came from. You can't hear it anymore. Hello, you ask the darkness. It doesn't reply. You direct your flashlight in front of you. Its light reveals tree trunks, stones, and fallen logs. Nothing unusual. If running on empty is checked or ticked in the log sheet, your flashlight falters. You must go to 304, and it is. Before you can finish scanning the area in front of you, the beam of your flashlight flickers and dims. Oh no, not now. If this thing fails, you'll be left alone in the dark. You slap the top of the flashlight desperately. The beam solidifies, then falters once more. You swear at the flashlight. It responds by going dead. You're left in the darkness with nothing but waning moonlight to guide you. A few short seconds after darkness falls, you hear the faint sound of static once more. It's all around you this time, and there's a voice whispering somewhere deep within it. The voice is icy, rasped, and laced with longing. Come, it says. Come here. To do as the voice says, go to 314. To flee, go to 305. At this point, the static's been chasing us, so let's go do what it says. The icy voice isn't far off. You can hear it just through the trees to your left. You turn towards the sound and peer into the branches. You see nothing. Cautiously, you start to step towards the sound. The ground is uneven and treacherous, but you pick your path carefully. With every step, the rasping call gets louder. It builds and builds until it fills your mind entirely. Give me your hand, it says. The static in the voice is harsh. To give the voice your hand, go to 315. To refuse, 305. Let's give it our hand at this point. You raise your hand and present it out into the darkness. You notice your fingers are trembling slightly. Before your eyes, the shadows that surround you seem to writhe and contort. A long section of dark night bulges from the rest and wraps around your wrist. Like a second, colder hand. It's bristly. It feels like the tongue of a cat. Give it to me, the voice says. Static drips from the words. You feel the tentacle of darkness wrapped around you tighten. More static, somehow made real, drifts off in floating liquid droplets from the point of contact between you both. They linger in the air and add to the growing cacophony. Give it to me. Make a note of this entry number. You may need to return to it. Make a sanity roll. If you fail, lose 1d6 sanity. So we'll make a note of the entry first. Then we'll make our sanity roll, which our sanity is 60. That's a 46, so we pass. To do as the voice says, go to 316. To refuse, go to 317. Let's refuse. You try to pull back and reject the voice's offer, but you feel a creeping presence push its way into your mind and try to lock around it like a vice. At the same time, the tentacle around your wrist seizes up and starts dragging you forward. Make a power roll. If you succeed, 319. If you fail, 318. His power is a 60. That's an 89, so we are going to fail that. All right, fail to 318. You muster up your strength and try to yank your arm free, but your resolve falters. You can't bring yourself to move with purpose. You feel like you're trapped in molasses. Your thoughts are lethargic. You're overwhelmed. Everything that's happened today is just too much. Involuntarily, you relax the muscles in your arm and let the tentacle of living darkness pull you closer. The floating droplets of static wrap around your head and begin to cloud your vision. You feel a sharp pain in your arm as the tentacle punctures your skin. Then, something slides up into your veins. You know, without looking, that it is wriggling, writhing, static. The sensation is accompanied by a presence, a looming awareness of thought and malign intelligence. You feel it pressed to you. Something wild and horrid and older than you can understand. Another tentacle joins the first, then another, until your entire body is surrounded by swirling darkness and twisting static. Somewhere, deep down, what's left of your consciousness howls in rebellion, but your body and your waking mind are too exhausted to struggle. The static in your veins reaches your heart. You feel your body buzz. You hum. You're in tune with the swarming static. Knowledge strikes you like a bolt of lightning. You understand everything now. How the static moves, how it echoes through the trees, the stones, the soil, and rumbles deep beneath the earth. You are part of it, and it is part of you. It is linking with your flesh and scurrying between your cells. You feel yourself torn to shreds. Each molecule of your body is swallowed up. You are made whole. You are made complete. You're home. The end. That'll do it for this adventure of Call of Cthulhu, Alone Against the Static. Definitely a lot of replayability, because you can see, when we look at the log sheet, there are still a ton of keywords that we didn't get to. So there's still a lot to do in this adventure. And this is not the last time you're going to see this on the channel. But I'm rambling at this point, so let's wrap this video up. I'm going to try to do an unboxing yet this morning, because there's one more thing that I want to get caught up on. As for what else is coming up on the channel, later this afternoon, we'll be headed to Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan, to continue the 2001 season replay playoffs in payoff pitch baseball. The Rangers lead that series 2-0. The Tigers have their backs against the wall. Wednesday, we're playing Sanctuary it's an Arc Nova game. Saturday will be an afternoon upload most likely, as Mystical Munchies will continue out of Titanic, the official cookbook, with the entree, Beer Battered Fish. Next week, we're revisiting a game that I've got some history with as we play Spirit Island. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.